Michael, how are you today? Hey everyone.
I'm great, Daniel, thanks for asking.
Hey everyone, welcome to Viewers, Comments and Questions. Dan here.
Mick here, hello. I thought Michael McDonald was in the room for a moment then. Berg.
Such a long way to go.
Such a long way. Welcome to Viewers, Comments and Questions, everyone, on this fine Monday. It is a spectacular day in the southwest of England. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on this fine Monday Eve. Monday soir.
I'm going to have a can of water.
Well, we better say thank you.
Oh.
We say thank you for the beer. Thank you for the beers.
The beers we're drinking.
This is from Philip Starclough, who's a friend of the show. And Philip dropped off some German beers, but look what it's called, Dan.
It's called A Very Long Foot.
As in a leg end.
That's very good.
Dan's just all about getting into the beer, which is good. It's a microbrewery in Berlin.
Oh, cool.
Berlin. Oh, God.
Hey, oh, God.
Honestly, they've only been there 7 years, those microphones. And then also I want to say thank you to Gerhard Schwarz from St Helens Hardware and Schwartz Custom Guitars. Yeah, sure, mate. Just go ahead.
But you won't drink this?
I will.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry, dude. Do you want off beer?
I don't know. I'm gonna have a taste.
Okay.
There's another can, but you know.
Is there? Okay, all right.
Yeah. Oh, it's cloudy.
It is cloudy.
It's a hopped IPA. That's good, mate. That's good. And trust the Bavarian to have such spectacular imbibing vessels. Come on, here you are.
It's beautiful.
Thank you, Gerhard.
Yes,
And
thank you.
Philip.
It's very kind.
We drink to your health.
Cheers,
Let's see if
buddy.
this makes me depressed, Daniel. Oh, God, what an awful week. That tastes amazing.
It's quite delicious.
That is really spectacular. So good out of a mini Stein as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I love this.
Anyway,
Cheers, everyone.
where are we? God. I thought I'd have had it loaded up by now. Turn the super chats off already because we have very, very many. Thank you, BV,
Thank you,
for moderating and doing everything you do for TPS. We massively appreciate it. Please be kind to BV in the chat, everybody. And thanks to being here. We have tons of super chats this week, so we probably better stampede. Right, you hang on there. Are we in focus? We are in focus. Did I turn the autofocus back on? I did. Scott from Baltimore is on. Hello, Scott. John 777 and James. Rye Cow is on. Curtis R. Matt Swanton. Kay Cole. Scott McLean. Simon V. How are you, buddy? Richard Pribenow is on. Lots of friends from a repeat of Chat TGR in the week.
Oh yeah, that was lovely.
Gary Mosley, been a while, mate. Hope you're well, buddy. And Todd Roy and Cassius Ray and Peter Hagen and Gogan and Guitars OK. Square Wave Symphonies. Alex, how are you, bud? Trost Jern. Loads of lovely friends. Jeremiah McCann, how are you, bud? Ian Bogle, Andrew R. Marcus is on. Hey, bud. Marcus Reeves.
Jim said, I am depressed if I don't have beer.
Angus McLennan, Carson Greensuit, Allure, Brian Carpenter. We shall stop there and get into the chats. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
everyone.
thanks, everyone.
It is a trip to be here. Kevin the Just is in the Canary Islands.
Oh,
that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I would love that.
Bit of autumn sun.
I would absolutely love that.
Well, make haste to the easiest of jets, Daniel.
Yes. Where are the Canary Islands?
Just off of alcohol.
Nice.
Africa. Aren't they? Isn't Canary Islands Tenerife and all that?
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think so.
Right.
Please tell me if I'm wrong. I always get confused between the Canaries and the Balearics, but no doubt you'll put us right in the thing. Aren't they off the east coast of Africa? West coast of Africa, I mean?
I have no idea.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Could be wrong. Cassius Ray says, is mixed wearing off alcohol? No, I like wine and I can drink cider, but I can't drink beer. It makes me depressed. And it really does make me depressed, and it's really weird. So we'll see if half a cup of beer has the effect. Oh, which is a shame because
It's so freaking tasty.
I really love beer.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I really love beer. Oh, that's lovely as well. A little bit of lemon in the hop there. Very good. Very good.
Peter Israelison says, just let Dan noodle for the rest of the night. He seems to be on his game. Well, it's interesting because I've got some pickups I'm going to try in the Crowster, as well as some new metallurgical wonderfulness. So I've started playing this guitar again, and I've just remembering what a beautiful instrument this is, and looking forward to seeing what fruits come out of this.
Yeah. Nice. Athers 30. Athers. Athers. Actually, it was Aggers, wasn't it? Anyway. Right now, do I go to the Italian wine shop down the road? Yes. Yes would be yes. Okay. Okay. Let us stampede Perkins. Was it Perkins? I can't remember. To the super chats. We've had some phenomenally generous super chats this week.
Yeah,
so
wow.
Thank you, folks, for your kindness.
It really does make a difference. Thank you all.
Let's get into them. From Johnny T. Got a few questions from Johnny T tonight. So hello, Johnny T. Johnny T says, WoW was my first effects love, but it has been sidelined. Question mark?
You'll never forget.
Person.
Well, I'll never forget the first time I played one, because it's such that connection between your foot as your playing. It's like, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
For me, it dated pretty quick.
Yeah. Unlike chorus and flanger.
Unlike chorus and flanger, of course. But I still have one on the board now. Well, it's off the board, but I use one for gigs.
Yeah.
Just for a couple of sounds.
I love them, but Dan's right. They just sort of. But I guess the way to solve your problem, Johnny, to bring it back to you, is to use it in different ways and use it in creative ways.
Yeah.
And instead of, I don't know what you did with it before, but it's not uncommon, is it, for us to pull a solo and play a load of pentatonic stuff, which, is all I can do. So adding a wah-wah makes it doubly interesting. But if you don't do that, maybe try and use it rhythmically over some chords with some delay. And then you get into all of that and use it texturally rather than just as that kind of solo voice. And I think that can be super interesting.
Yeah.
Further, try the cocktail thing.
Yep.
And just put it in one position. I believe you did that at your gig. Did you? Do I remember that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just because of that sound, that Mick Ronson thing, it's
Money for Nothing, Dire Straits. That's what that was, I believe. So yeah, wah-wah. It is. It's awesome. Swizz871. Hello, Swizz871. I was lucky enough to meet Jamie and Jesse from Earthquaker Devices in Sydney on the weekend. Really lovely people.
Wow.
Jamie said he always wanted to make something for Radiohead. Dan, maybe you could pull some strings.
Yeah, well,
I'm sort of surprised that he doesn't have something from Earthquaker.
I'm surprised as well. I have been busy doing both Colin and Ed's boards this week and last week, but I was in yesterday as well, finishing them off. And it's a trip. It's like I feel a very lucky person to be able to do that,
Hello,
because
Colin.
they are. Hello, Colin.
Don't finish that. For those of you
yeah,
who know, you're
it's
Pete and Dad.
you know, it's wonderful, and they're, you know, absolutely one of my favorite bands ever. And OK Computer, there's an album that changed my life, and it is one of those things that, you know, I'll never forget getting the phone call from Ed. And I was such a, I don't want to say prat, but it is appropriate, because literally I've been thinking for years, man, please give me a call, please give me a call. And when he called all those years ago, I answered the phone and he says, "Oh, it's Ed, I'm from Backup Radio." And I went, "Man, I've been waiting for you to call me." I thought, and then I heard the words come out of my mouth, and I went, "You idiot." But yeah, it's a trip. But you know, can certainly see if I can get Ed a couple of bits and pieces. Yeah, it's really interesting that they're still so passionate about it, and the sounds and everything. Like, it is, you know, Ed and I will talk for hours about this sound and how you're using this, and
he's still into it.
Into it. It's really beautiful.
It's lovely when you meet an artist who is still into it in that way, and they're still looking, you know, not necessarily in a gas way.
Oh no, just a creative way.
Firing creative ideas.
Absolutely, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Johnny T with his second question says, I tune to open E and I like it. What's your favourite open tuning?
I open E only because of the slide thing, which I don't play slide, but also the Joni Mitchell thing.
Yeah. When she was taking like however many guitars on tour,
like 40 guitars on tour.
Open E. Okay, I'll go. I was hoping you were going to say Bad Dad.
Bad Dad.
I think Dadgad for me has that sound.
I'm yet to learn a Dadgad tune, which I really should do, because everyone needs to know a Dadgad tune.
Yeah, I know one.
Right.
And there we go then.
No, I'm not doing that.
Are you going to do open E? I'll do Dadgad then. God. Cue 18,000 hour tuning session.
The only reason is it
That's sharp.
Probably.
Imagine trying to find a headstock tuner that works. This one won't work because it's... Oh, hang on. Maybe it will. Will it work? No, it won't. Okay, well, we'll stay with that where Dan is. In the meantime, while I'm tuning, Michael Giliberto says... Leg ends. Whoa, 2 single coils take humbuckers to the island. Can't argue with the OD choices. Fun show. If we count the cable from amp to speaker, do we have the 5 cable method? Still laughing from last week's VCQ. Yeah, interesting. Dan's really in love. Oh yeah, I think that is sharp. I think Dan is really in love with the SG at the moment.
I am. I really am. I'm working with it to try and just get it to sit right, and I'm still not quite there, but I am in awe of... I'll sit, this is so weird, but I will sit and just look at it, because I'm a big sado. The design of it and the wood and everything, I just sit and just go, it's just the most amazing guitar.
No, that's not right. G. Give us a G. Oh no, because you're miles out.
That should still be G. It should be. Yeah, that's sharp.
And yeah, and I chose the 325. Dadgad.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Just
'cause it's
that
kind
alone
of-
is beautiful.
Didn't Jimmy Page use it a lot? Dadgad.
Probably.
I learned this. Can't do it up there. That was it.
Wow.
Because at the time you had Eric Roach and
Oh.
all those guys playing the open
okay.
string thing, and
Yeah. Kashmir, apparently. And Black Mountainside.
Yep. Anyway, Dadgad, yeah, because it's kind of got that Celtic-y thing, and you can usually strum along something not too offensive. Whew, mummy.
Dadgad for all your Clapton slide needs, says AIDOLIE. Aodl. Aodl.
That'd be an Irish name then.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably
Dave.
Fred. Yeah. Plexico, Duncan, how are you, bud? He says, hi DNM, what do you see as the pros and cons of AI evaluating current gear and suggesting future purchases? Thanks. Yeah, it's good at that, isn't it? It's good at analysis of data.
Yeah. Good at data. Very good at data.
We had a super interesting, I had a bunch of neighbours around on Saturday night. Lovely neighbours.
Oh, man, that's so tasty.
And David, one of our neighbours, David's well into his 70s, but he's a real thinker and he's a critical thinker, and he reads a lot, and he's really into modern comms theories and tech theory and stuff, and he's a very intelligent man and very thoughtful, and he's super interested in AI in the way that lots of people are. And equally at the table we've got some creatives who are a bit challenged by AI because it's potentially hurting their employment prospects and stuff like that. So it was a really fruitful and interesting conversation. And I had a revelation halfway through the conversation.
Right.
Which was, because the heart of Duncan's question is, forgive me if I'm wrong, Duncan, can AI take some of your brain work out and save you a bit of time in getting to a conclusion? And the revelation I had was, what do we do then?
Oh, okay.
What do humans do
Yeah.
if we don't think and ponder and
go.
solve and make
do.
mistakes? And because if you're from the side of questioning view of AI that isn't, oh my god, it's going to take my job away, I'm not worried about that. Hopefully it will make me do my job quicker and more effectively.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I guess one as you'll see in coming weeks, there's a challenge that Dan and I have set for a video which requires a bit of homework. And it's enabled us both to get an eye into how confusing the market is if you're relatively new to it. So could AI help you there, possibly? I mean, it already does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I use AI on our website. I've got a virtual Dan avatar on there for people that want to ask questions. And it's great because you can get instant responses 24/7 in any language. It's been super helpful. But for people who just want to chat and ask a question, it's there. I think there's obviously a lot of fear around it. And it's like there's good and bad with every tech.
Well, you know what I'm going to say about that, don't you?
What's that? How you interface with it?
No. It's not good nor bad. It just
Just is. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. So,
it's only it's the thought that makes it good or bad.
right.
The analysis. Bev said we might have frozen. No, we're not freezing. Maybe we froze for a little while. Thank you, BV.
Well, we're good here.
Yeah, we're good here. Yeah, why not? Why not? What I've started to find annoying is if I'm browsing something, if I'm on a website or whatever and I'm looking at whatever I'm looking at, a pair of shoes, when I go to type into Chrome to search for something, it auto-fills with what I've just been looking at.
Oh.
Red Wing shoes.
Yeah.
And that is deeply annoying and invasive. That really does annoy me. And I think you can turn some of that off, but not much. Because I've got all Gemini and everything turned off. And
Right.
yeah. So
Well, it's interesting now. So Google, if you, any advertisers, at Gigrig, we advertise, but we've actually turning pretty much Google ads off. Because what's happened now, where you used to search something on Google and then you'd be presented with pages, and you scroll down the pages, now AI gives you an answer right at the top of the page.
Yeah.
And it's an answer. So it's
a curated answer.
It's a curated answer, which most people find helpful.
Yeah, it is. It's really good.
But it means that people have stopped scrolling down Google.
Yeah. And then, if you are thoughtful enough to cross-check and double-check and find an opposing argument, although it does present some opposing arguments as well, doesn't it? So yeah, it's pretty good.
It is interesting. It is very interesting.
Yeah.
Sludge Factory 23 says that AI blurb is so bad. It depends. I've had some really good answers from it. But
it's usually helped with my next question.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And we need to remember it is still in its infancy. This is new. And it is the rate that it is improving is amazing.
Yeah. And it just becomes, the thing that our neighbour David was arguing is he was saying exactly what you're saying, and it will come to a point where you just fundamentally can't distinguish between what's AI and what's not AI.
Yeah.
And a lot of people seeing that as apocalyptically bad, but why?
Yeah.
Just why is that bad?
Yeah.
I don't want it, but I don't have a solid argument for why it's bad, unless it's used for manipulation and all that. But humans are really good at that already. They don't need AI to do that for manipulation and lies. I actually think people are smarter. Well, a lot of people are smarter than we give them credit for. You can watch Iron Man and suspend your perceptions and beliefs that there isn't actually a man in a suit flying, and go back to your daily life afterwards. And I kind of think that's the way it is with AI.
Okay.
At present, you take it for what it is. Maybe I don't know.
Ruby Lopez says it's learning at a geometric rate. Cue the nukes, which is from Terminator.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
It became self-aware. 7 p.m. April 22nd, 1997.
Yeah. I also think there'll be an increasing number of people who disengage from a wider variety of tech. I think that will happen.
I've started doing that. So I don't hate the technology. I need to be on it for work and it's fine. But when I get home, phone goes off. Phone is off at least one day a week, so turn the phone off on Sunday. I sent our mate Ollie a text message on Friday. He didn't get back to me Tuesday. He says, no, I just turned the phone off for a few days.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool.
Nobody
I really
cares.
dig that. Yep.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Yeah. Right. Thank you, Duncan. Interesting question. Formerly known as T, says, all right, guys, thoughts on putting a 12-inch speaker in a Princeton? Which one would you choose? And what's your favourite speaker for a deluxe reverb?
Would you like a little bit more?
No, I'd better stop there.
Yeah.
You Philly boots, mate.
Okay.
I have a taste.
It's absolutely delicious.
It's very nice. There is another one out there called Shoegazer, funnily enough. It is 6.8% though.
Yeah, no. This is just
which
a
is a
taste.
little bit
Lovely. These cups are just.
aren't they great? Made in Germany.
That's a. You wouldn't call that a cup, would you? That's a mug. Is that right?
I don't know what it's called in
Oh,
Germany.
a sepulchral.
There's a small beer drinking vessel.
Small beer drinking vessel. That's good.
I guess you could put coffee in it as well, but
That's magnificent.
tremendously nice. Oh.
So
Anyway,
Todd
12
Roy says, Mick, when will the Bigsby be installed on your 345?
I was hoping to do it this week, and I now cannot do it this week. So I may do it. I wanted to get it done for the Experience Day on Friday, but I just don't think I can get it done for then through other commitments. But who knows? I might be able to do. Failing that, I'm going to do it the following week. Although we are filming the following week, so I might not get it done that week either. But because if it was just putting it on there, I would just do it, and it would be done in the next 45 minutes.
It's got to be.
But I've got to film it.
Yeah.
Which means playing it before and after and doing all that, and that'll take me a day and a half to do that. So, yes, it's not on there yet.
So
Anyway.
12 inch for a Princeton. I'm using our Princeton at the moment, and I have the EV10M in it at the moment, and it's just perfection. But I can't help thinking that a blue, because I love the Celestian Blue, I think that would be a wonderful speaker in there. And I also would say the same thing for a deluxe reverb, Celestian Blue. I use a Celestian Blue and one of the new Tayden speakers I've currently got in my Lazy J. But a lovely worn-in blue is a majestic thing in a Princeton or in a deluxe. What's the circuit called? 5A.
You mean in a Tweed Deluxe? Yeah.
In a Tweed Deluxe.
Yeah, I don't know if that. Sorry, it was Deluxe Reverb.
Oh, Deluxe Reverb. Okay, then that's a little bit different, just because of the higher power rating. But I would still have an Alnico speaker in there.
Dan really likes Alnicos, and that underlines it really, because he really likes Alnico speakers. I really don't as much. So all that chat about what's the best speaker here and there, it's so personal. It's so incredibly personal. In our Deluxe Reverb, which sounds fantastic, has just got the speaker that everybody seems to hate, the standard Jensen C12K, is it? Something
Sounds
like that.
wonderful.
Well, because it's had the crap kicked out of it.
That is more. I don't think people understand how important that is, because you'll stick a speaker in it and you'll listen to it and you go, no, I don't like it. That when you first hear a speaker in an amplifier, it is so unrepresentative of what that speaker is going to sound like after even just a few hours of being played hard.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time when we hear these old amps and we think, oh, it's just glorious, I think a lot of the time it's that the speaker it's become part of the amp. It's been used. And, I'm really interested. So one of the shows I want to film is I've got the AC15 with the greenback that came in it, but I've got my old Celestian Blue at the moment that came out of the J because I got the Tayden in there. I want to hear the difference of what a lovely... I know the sound. I know that actual speaker.
Yeah.
I want to hear what that's like, and then hear it against the old AC30, just as far as that circuit and the blues are concerned. I think that'd be really, really interesting. And then hearing the difference between the greenback and the Celestian Blue in that standard AC15.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, the Chris Stapleton Princeton has a 12, although that's more like a Brown era Princeton, I think, with no, I don't know if it has reverb, but it certainly has tremolo. Yeah, it's such a personal thing. Such a personal thing. The one Alnico speaker that Dan and I do universally agree on is the Gold.
Ah,
The Gold to me is the perfect mid spot between the blue, which is super bright and you get a lot of speaker noise. I don't mean noise, I mean the character of the speaker really affects the sound of everything because it's such a low power speaker. So the amp, even if it's a relatively low power amp, is giving the speaker something to think about it all the time. The Gold is not as peaky in the trebles, and it can accept more power handling. So to me, it sounds smoother right across the board, and I really like that, but not completely smoothed out like something like an EV or a higher power speaker, Mesa Celestion C90, something like that. You know, really, really smooth and even, and it doesn't really matter what you do, that speaker's going to hold it together. And that is the personal part about speakers. You either like it farting and rasping, or you really don't, and he does, and I really don't. Although, having said that, recorded is a wonderful thing.
yeah.
It's so much of the character of good guitar recordings is the speaker, right?
I was in the studio with Robin Ford a month ago, and he wanted to try a bunch of different speakers. And he wanted to try some 1x12 cabs. So I took Bob Burt in and something else. Anyway, they took the Matchless in, the 1x12 Matchless and the Bob Burt cab. Matchless has the Matchless speaker, the ceramic, which I thought he would really like because he loves the Celestion G1265.
G1265, yeah.
And I thought, well, I put the cream back. I just had the cream back in the Bob Burt cab.
Yeah.
Mike's went in front of it. He's in the control room, and instantly he went, "That's the one."
Oh, well.
He loved it.
Yeah.
And has ended up tracking a lot of the solos on his new album.
The Alnico Cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a powerful speaker as well, isn't it?
It's a powerful speaker.
90 watts.
Yeah.
Nice. There was a question here from... I do want to find it because I want to mention it. It was from David Matai, and David says, "Hi DNM, this weekend is Guitar Summit in Mannheim. Have you ever been there? Is it really worth it? This year, guests are Philip Sayce, Dweezil Zappa, Joey Landreth will be there as well.
Wow.
It's a really good lineup this year. We have never been, shockingly. I was going to go this year and then just couldn't get it together. But yes, it is absolutely worth going.
Completely
Everybody
worth
says
going.
it's worth going. Yeah. Please go and support that event, because guitar events have a hard time, so go. And if they've bothered to get people like Philip and Dweezil and Joey and other great artists, then go.
Yeah, for sure.
Have fun. Thomas Gelnar. Hello, Thomas. Good to hear from you as always. Hi, M&D. My old Engel head, a Squeeze 50, has been in the basement for more than 10 years. I wonder if anything will go wrong if I switch it on. Any advice?
Turn the master volume down
To zero.
Turn the power on, leave the standby, and just turn the power on and make sure nothing starts smoking. And then obviously make sure you've got load connected. Then turn the standby on, and then turn the master volume up and just see if anything's humming. But 10 years with an Engel amp as well, because that's not that old. You'll be fine.
Also, it depends on the relative humidity down there. If it's a basement that gets cold and warm, you may have some condensation damage where, if anything gets damp in there, you can usually see corrosion on things like tube jackets, other metal parts in the back of the amp, transformers. You might see some corrosion on those. And if that's got really bad, it might not be in such good shape. Pots may well be scratchy, but should be okay.
Yeah.
Follow Dan's advice. Should be all right.
Yeah.
You'll see.
As long as the basement hasn't flooded,
Yeah.
you should be okay.
Yeah. Johnny T again.
Hey, Johnny
I
T.
love pedal steel, says Johnny T. Any experience with B-benders?
I don't. I've played one. I was at London at a client's place. He says, try this. And you put it on and then you pull the thing down. It goes. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. But I couldn't get over the whole routing system it needed to do it.
Yeah.
But it's very cool. Oh, the one in Peter Sheryl Crow's guitar player.
Stroud.
Peter Stroud has got a little palm B bender down, and it sounds magic.
Yeah, you can get all sorts of retrofits for bridges with B and G benders. Brad Paisley commonly uses a G bender, not a B bender.
Mm-hmm.
I had a G&L custom guitar which had a B and a G bender. And one of them was on the end pin here, and one of them was pushed down there, and it was really spectacular guitar. I regret having to sell that. I was broke. It's a definite headspace. I did use it on one recording with a girl called Odette Michelle, who had just the most spectacular voice, and I used it to play a riff that you would normally bend, like a country type riff that you would normally bend, but I did it with the bender, sort of like a that kind of thing. Something like that. And what it meant with the bender, if the string was stretched properly, the bend was right on with the same quickness and the same arrival at the pitch every time, and it gives a subtly different feel than if you bend it with your fingers.
Right.
And a different tonality. Okay. Because of, anyway, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, really dig them. And yeah, pedal steel, oh my God. And lap steel for that matter. It's just, it's a magic noise, isn't it? You hear them in more places than you think as well.
Yeah. Saw the video, some guy in a studio doing a session on his lap steel. It's like, when you hear those guys who are really good, it is a magical thing, you know, and they're so groovy, and just, you know, oh mate, the guys who are really good, there's no sense that they're trying at all. They're just it's wonderful.
Well, there's that kind of thing, which I don't know if it's a Nashville thing. I don't know if it's a Nashville thing or if it's wider than that, but the no effort guitar face.
Yeah.
And all the cool Nashville dudes do it. So if you watch like Vince Gill or even Brad for that matter, certainly all the very straight kind of singer-songwriters who are killer guitar players very rarely pull a grimace.
Yeah. As opposed to the LA guitar face.
Yeah. Hang on, sorry, I should put this on mute really. Yes. Yes. Sorry, BV is telling me things and I just need to stay across it a little bit. The minion notification sound is hilarious, says Private Account. I know. They say make O, right? But the way the minions say it, it sounds like Michael, which is my name. Michael. That's if you should ever have to explain anything.
Just a quick one. Sheeran. Can the Atom run 2 amps using both effects loops? Sorry. Kieran, is that right? Yes, it can. Just put each effects loop in a loop, and you can parallel them up, or you can have one preamp per tune. Does that rather well. Anthony Mapplethorpe
says, I've been a fractal guy for almost 20 years. God, how is that impossible? What? Has fractal been around that long? I guess it must have been.
Yeah.
If Line 6 has.
Pod, yeah.
Fractal, I thought fractal was much newer. Anyway, I've been a fractal guy for almost 20 years. But as I got older, I felt the urge for an analog rig. Last week, I finally happened. Advice on FX groupings in a QMX6 and general order. Rig to come. Well, let's see how you get on, Anthony. See if you like it.
Yeah.
See if it's the same but different, if it's worse but different, if it's better but different.
It's better but better.
Could be that.
Could be that.
Yeah, depends on the amp, doesn't it? Depends on your playing style, depends on what you're used to.
Yeah, it depends on what you're used to, the sound coming through.
Yeah.
But if you've, if you've found an amp that you love and a bunch of pedals that interface with it well, you're in for some fun times and you're among friends. Not that, the fractal thing is great and it obviously has a purpose and, all great. But I've seen it more recently. I'm getting emails from people who have been on a similar journey, and they're both great. But people coming back to rigs and stuff. I showed Mick my daughter played a gig last weekend, and it was her old band. It was their last ever gig, and there were 4 bands on. And you know how the side of the stage all the bands leave their gear there. 4 guitar amps and pedal boards just sat there. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And the sound guy at the venue was saying more and more young bands turning up, amp on stage. There you go. Great.
Yeah.
It's all great. Whatever gets you playing is all
whatever
great.
works. Yeah, whatever works. I think because we often leap to the sound discussion, don't we? And we want to make judgments about what we think sounds better and worse. I actually think one of the biggest barriers to using a full digital rig is that there's just so much that can go awry in the interface.
Yeah.
So if you've got to go direct, where's your output level set? Are all your gains right? And then what's the front of house person getting? How do you monitor? Can you hear it? And maybe if you've been through a lot of that pain, and I don't think it's unfair to say that a lot of people who use that stuff aren't super across every single parameter in the whole thing, and might not realise there's a speaker simulated out and a non-speaker simulated out and a line level out and an instrument level out and etc, etc, etc. And it might be, and this is just, I'm just spitballing here.
I'm just spitballing.
It might be that you put an amp on the floor, plug in, turn the volume up and go, oh, that was easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're all about easy, aren't we? Well, I am. Anyway, Anthony continues. I've got a Magnatone Super 15 combo. A golden reverberator, always on. Earthquake Award and compressor. RC version 2, Broadcast AP2, Kingsley Minstrel, Red Wing, Harmonious Monk, Sir Discovery, Little JHS Minstrel. So, Anthony, you've
really gone. You've gone in all the way, which we appreciate.
You've been tottering around on your bicycle with stabilizers. You've taken them off, and you've bought a Ducati Desmo Sedici. Basically, is what's happened here.
Got off his learners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, baby. Wow, man. Well, I'll be interested to see how you get on. So you've got a lot of moving parts there, and you've got a lot of interfacing things to deal with all those gain stages. So if we could offer any advice, and I hope it doesn't sound condescending, is to try not to understand everything all at once, because it will get overwhelming. So just figure out, how does this overdrive pedal play? How does that one play? How does it work with the reverb? And just bit by bit. Might even be that you want to start with a relatively small board and get the feel of the amp and then add stuff in as you go, because you can be in an option paralysis mode if you just shove it all on there.
Just a quick bit of signal thing, and just to talk about your gain pedals. A great place to start when you're organising the order of your gain pedals. It's not about the Kingsley first and then the whatever. It's about which pedal you use the most gain and which pedal you use the least gain, because that gives you better options for stacking. So for example, I'll have the pedal that I have with more gain at the front, and then the pedal that I have lower gain after it, so that when I kick on the lower gain pedal, it has more headroom and it keeps more of the pedal that came before it and just makes it louder. If I swap that around and put the lower gain in front of the higher gain pedal, you just get more gain because it's the distortion pedal just distorts more. So that's a nice place to start. Now you might not end up there, but if you've got 3 or 4 overdrive pedals, start with the one that has the most fuzz or distortion, and then go down the chain to the one that has the least. That's a good place to start with gain pedals, but it's just a start.
Yeah.
Like that chord is just a start.
I thought it was on its way somewhere.
Not me. Not me, baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you got to know where you are before you can go somewhere else. Otherwise, you're nowhere.
man.
Good luck.
Fucking
Square Wave
hell.
Symphonies, Dell. Alex, sorry. Alex. Good evening, Fusa. He says Fusa with one of those German Bs that is an S. 2 S's. I love the revisited challenge, but the obvious pedal choice for a desert island board would definitely be a vintage Electro Harmonix pedals because they're big enough to be used as a raft. Much love from Alex.
Very nice. Yeah. But obviously they would fall apart
Yeah.
as soon as you tried to do anything with them.
Yeah. Jean Mirapica says, hello Fret Wizards. As always, thank you for all you do. Which size of fret wire do you prefer and why? I need to refret a Strat. I'm baffled from all the options. A show on fret sizes would be good. Keep up your good work.
The obvious answer for doing certainly with the Fenders is Dunlop 6105. It's what's on red. It was what's on blue. I don't know.
That's what's on my vintage Strat,
Right.
or certainly something very similar to it.
So 6105s gives it's not too fat, not too zingy. It's just feels right. It's also Robin's favourite fret wire. He uses it on everything, Gibson's included.
It's a bit taller than standard
It's a
vintage
bit
fret
taller.
wire.
That's right.
So taller is good, because especially on a curved, if it's a 7 1/4 radius Fender, the taller bit of extra wire on the fret just gives you a bit more,
Love under the fingers.
depending on the fret job, gives you less choking potentially, depending on the fret job and the setup, but it's more possible with a bit more height on the fret. There's plenty of people who give you, this is, all right, let's get into the weeds now, because now we're getting into your playing technique, and there are people that would argue that a taller fret with a shallower crown on it, a steeper crown on it, can give you more precise note. Everyone plays differently anyway, and the amount you push down with different fingers is going to change all of that. 6100 is a different thing. 6100 is what they would call the bass frets, what Stevie Ray Vaughan used. It's what's in this guitar, and I like it on E-flat guitars,
Right.
with big actions, because it's really super. All of those things I just said,
Right.
bending. Especially when they're polished up nice.
Yeah.
Just gives you a huge amount of fret to on, which is much harder with the vintage frets. And that is an acquired taste, 6100s. Dan had 60, they do change the sound, the
They
guitar.
do change the sound. So I had 6100s in red, and I just couldn't get on with it. It was too, I love bright, but it was too zingy and harsh, and took it back to Johnny, put 6105s back in it, and then it was just perfect again. Athers 13 says, don't discount stainless steel. I will go on the record to say, personally, for me, I'm yet to play a guitar with stainless steel frets that I've just gone, this is great.
Yeah, again, it can
Personal.
affect the sound of the guitar. So
Yeah.
it's too reductive to say it sounds brighter, but it sounds brighter. And of course that may work for some guitars and less for others. But when Dan put the 6100s in red, it was mad, because for a few weeks I was like,
What's changed?
I know that that's a bright guitar, and I know Dan likes a lot of treble, and I'm like, something has gone unpleasant with the guitar. And bearing in mind that's a guitar I hear sat here week in, week out. I hear it in my headphones week in, week out when I'm processing the audio. So I really, really know the sound of that guitar. And then it's like, oh, yeah, no. And figured out what it was, and you just took it straight back and had it redone, didn't you?
And then the minute the strings went on after that refret,
It was back to being red again.
Yep.
So yeah, we'd say 6100 is a good midpoint. Matt from Monty's has this fantastic fret wire, which is
coconuts.
not not stainless steel, but it has more or less the hardness of stainless steel, but it feels more like the nickel silver or whatever they are, standard fret wire. So it wears a lot better. The only downside to it is it has a slightly goldy yellowy hue, and I totally would have had it in my guitar.
Oh.
So it sounds like the nickel silver.
It wears like stainless steel.
But it wears like stainless steel.
Interesting.
And Matt uses that a lot in all of his guitars. I forget what it's called. It might be a Jessica wire, I don't know. But the other thing is, if you can possibly do so, go and play a few different guitars. And Gibson fret's different again.
Yeah.
So because you've got on majority of Gibson guitars, you've got this 12-inch radius fretboard, right, which is a lot flatter. So the relationship of fret to board is kind of different. Oh God, I don't want to look at them anymore. The more I look at them, the more I'm like, so many of my guitars need doing.
Yeah, right.
What happens is they get kind of flat on the tops, and you might get one or two dresses, and then
it's too much.
Yeah. So, but yeah, play some. Dan and I both really like 6105 Dunlop profile wire. So, yeah. And then of course it's all down to the fret job itself, which can really change the feel significantly.
Completely. So, yeah, when you find a luthier that you're comfortable with and who does a good job, man alive, keep them employed.
Sean Brooks says, I want frets that don't get divots from me playing in C and G all day long. You can see it, man. You just look at Eddie and Mike. Well, less so these days, but back in the day, you know, frets got worn in a very specific place. Yeah. K-Shep says, what's the physical phenomenon that could explain the difference in tone between 6100 and 6105? Don't know. I mean, maybe there's some physicist on it. Obviously, you've got more metal.
Yeah.
You've got more metal sticking out of the neck of the guitar. So, whatever that means.
Yeah, but it was... Because if you think about it, it's like, really should it make that much difference? Oh, man. It was night and day. It really was. And I've played guitars. I've played Strats with those 6100s in it before and loved them. On red, it was just too much. And it might just be because red is such a bright guitar anyway, that little bit of extra zing was just pushed it over the edge into unpleasantness. But on other guitars, it might work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. A couple of people are saying, Bill Green and Athos 13 are both saying, apparently that Jessica Evo wire is gone. They don't make it anymore. Oh, that's a shame. That's how popular it was, you see.
Yeah.
Matt really liked it. He really, really liked it. Yeah. Good luck, Jean. Sorry, I don't know whether to call you Jean or Jean. Because of your surname, I want to call you Jean. But you're in Sweden, so who knows. Kelv Muller in Australia, by the looks of things. He says, I'm sitting in a bar in Newcastle upon Pacific.
Nice. That's where I learned to surf.
When Adam Miller walks in and sets up and starts playing.
Wow.
As I was the only one who knew who he was. So he played anything that I asked for. What a human. Nice. He's a lovely guy, Adam, and he's a phenomenal guitar player.
Yep. He has Joey Landreth's favourite ever guitar sound. Joey heard him play through a deluxe reverb one day with bass on 10, treble on 0.
Oh, no, I think that was Adam Levy.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It was Adam Levy, right.
Different
okay.
Adam.
Right, different Adam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We've had both on the show, very pleased to say. Interestingly, the aforementioned deluxe reverb will be being used by Bill Frisell in November. It's pretty cool. we're going to supply the amps for the show. And they're like, what have you got? I'm like, Bill wants 2 deluxe reverbs. I was like, great, got some other stuff as well, 2 deluxe reverbs. So, and do you know why he has 2 deluxe reverbs? Because he might not like the sound of one of them.
Really?
I love that. Don't you love that?
Of course I do.
Don't you love that?
This is, it's Bill. It's Bill Frisell.
Yeah.
There's some trio footage I watched recently. Sort of, prepping. He is a magician.
Yeah.
He is an absolute sonic magician.
Yeah.
And you look at what he's using, it's like, it's really simple stuff. But he does conjure sounds out of this stuff. It's just...
I found him first when he started cropping up on records by loads of people.
Right.
With that modulated DL4 sound.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew it was him. So it'd be good to talk about that and go outside of all of that. Yeah, we're going to... Bill Frisell will... with a following wind and all things being right, be on the show in November. So that's amazing. That is a tick.
Big month, November.
Yeah. Guy Fawkes night for one. Hello D&M, says Andrew R. Hello Andrew R. Do you think there's a scenario where you would agree to play on a silent stage? Let's say your amps were mic'd up off stage and in-ear monitors, for example at a charity event, or to play with an idol.
Oh, I'm always up for playing.
Yeah. I mean,
It's just because it's not perfect.
I wouldn't be in a band where you had to do that.
No,
because I don't want to do that unless it was like really good fun for some other reason and preposterously well paid. But even then,
yeah, it'd still be hard. You'd be working.
yeah.
It's really interesting. We were in LA, and
But of course we would. Yeah,
of course, absolutely.
To do something that you'd been asked to do, it would be churlish to say no, wouldn't it?
I've walked in. You remember doing a gig in Sydney, and he asked me to come down, and he just plugged me directly into the PA. Nothing. It was just guitar straight into the PA, and I was just sitting there, just playing some chords, and it was so much fun. But I remember we were in LA with Andy Timmons, and it was a late night jam, and he had someone's direct board that he had heard this other guy play through, and said it sounded okay, and he went up and just had to play, and he's like, no, that's just couldn't. He felt so disconnected from it.
Yeah.
And of course, and this is what everyone says, anyone watching would just go, oh, he's amazing. And he's Andy Timmers. Of course he's amazing. But it's not about that. It's about his experience and how he feels he's able to speak, through his instrument. And that's all it is. It's just preference.
Yeah, exactly. I also think there's always the possibility that a playing situation or a type of music or something will come along which requires that and necessitates it.
Yes, sure.
But for me, taking rock and roll, which is a loud, non-seated, visceral, analog experience, and then trying to do it, I'm trying to find a word that isn't dreadfully pejorative, but that isn't just sort of, all the edges knocked off it, quietened down, blah, 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 blah. It's not rock and roll anymore. It's not. It's something fundamentally different. And that's cool. If that's what you want to do, I don't want to do it.
Agreed.
But there may be something that is related to it, but is new and different and requires that environment. And that I'm up for.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I don't know. And a lot of it's in your head as well, isn't it? Because, Dan and I talk about this a lot. Are we out playing 4 nights a week? No, we're not. So that almost makes it even more important, because however many more gigs you've got left in your life, I want to make sure I enjoy all of them,
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
I've done the 5 nights a week, and it was brilliant. Now I get to do the music that I want to play, and I'm going to make sure that every night I'm feel connected.
Yeah,
and, you
yeah.
know, definitely.
Yeah. David Tompkins is very insistent on reminding us that Greg Koch is on tour in the UK in October. Please get him on the show again. We may get him on the show again.
Just because it's so wonderful to hang out with him.
It is, and we would always have him on the show again. What would be really great is if we got some new people on the show that we haven't had on the show before. We've been a bit bereft of guests lately for various reasons, so maybe we should go after a few people,
Yeah.
find out who's on tour and make sure we
Someone
get them
was
on.
mentioning Lark and Poe, and I would love to have them on the show.
Yeah,
They're
man.
wonderful. And if you get a chance to go and see them because they're just extraordinary. And the sisters, both guitar players, harmonies are amazing. Lap steel and Strat, just fabulous.
Oh, all
Absolutely
kinds of
fabulous.
guitars, loads of guitars. It's great.
Yeah.
Great show. Bart van der Lisdonk, Robert Fripp maybe. Well, he basically lives down the road from me. But I think getting to him might be somewhat difficult these days. But
Yeah.
in fact, it's always been difficult. The Corner says, will you be at the Guitar Summit? Sorry for shouting. Yeah, lots of people asking. We'd love to go. Just couldn't quite make it work this time around. We got an experience day on the Friday, possibly stuff happening over the weekend. So we cannot, I'm afraid, do it.
Chris Cook says, please get Nick McCabe on. We went and had dinner with Nick.
Yeah, Nick popped in here, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he's just... There are quite a lot of artists who are very reluctant to do things like this because it's just not their environment and they're not massively comfortable doing that kind of thing.
But it would be wonderful.
I mean, he wasn't an outright no. He just wasn't itching to get on, was he? Yeah. Cool. Okay, we will get some more guests on. It's good. Dan and I love having the guests on.
Oh, it was wonderful.
It means less work for us. Hi D&M, I saw the mighty You I Am on the weekend, says Jacob Reynolds. Here in Washington, which I guess is Washington State, playing Hi-Fi Way in full. Dan will know what this is. You Am I.
You am I.
Dan, have they entered your orbit?
Not massively, but they were Aussie band, I think, unless they were just big in Australia. All good.
Are they new? Are they old? Are they classic? Are they modern?
Yeah, old, like 80s.
Okay.
80s, early 90s.
Yeah, it's pretty old now.
Yeah, it is old. Far out, it is old now.
Yeah. Middle Age dealt me a spectacular new low this weekend.
Okay.
A new low to which I didn't think it would ever be possible to sink.
Go on then.
So, the garden shed is in a terrible state, like just carnage. So I cleaned out the garden shed to throw some things away. And do you know what I did as part of that?
No.
I vacuumed it.
Far out, man.
Do you know what I did after that?
No. This is a requiem for...
I went onto Jeff's Bazaar.
Oh, stop it.
I went onto Jeff's Bazaar to find ideal dusting items to clean the TPS studio because it is minging, and we've got an experience day on Friday. It is absolutely minging in here. So I spent a good 15 minutes researching ideal dusting equipment. Although more's coming out of that, then maybe it'll be all right when it settles down a bit. It's pretty sexy, don't you think?
Looks like a Muppet.
Yeah.
Manamana. Manamana. Do 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 do. Manamana.
Anyway, so that'll be what I'll be doing for most of Thursday. Will I be putting the vintage ES 3:45. Fitting it with a Bixby? No, I shall be dusting in here.
You'll be dusting.
Yeah. Why don't you get someone else to do it? I hear you cry. I am not letting anybody in here with a duster.
No.
Absolutely
That's nice.
not. So anyway, there we go. Happy middle-aged.
Unhappy middle age.
Yeah, I'm never vacuuming a shed again.
There's a nice t-shirt. I'm never vacuuming this shed again.
Hi, Dan and Mick. It did remind me of the spectacular cylinder lawnmower that I bought on a whim
I loved that.
3 years ago, which I need to sell if anyone wants one, by the way. Lovely 19-inch Atco cylinder lawnmower, petrol, obviously, which doesn't work
it
on
vintage?
my lawn. No, not as such.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want a vintage one, really. You want a modern one.
Right.
Yeah. What you need, Dan, is a 19-inch Atco self-propelled cylinder lawnmower.
And I would love that.
Yeah.
Nothing would give me greater pleasure except for that it is my loving wife who loves mowing the lawn. She loves it.
I did actually research a robot lawnmower,
Oh, yeah.
but they're too flawed for where I live.
Right.
There's certain bits of which they wouldn't get right where I live. So
My brother-in-law has one on his property in Sydney, and he's got quite a big property, and it's sort of sloped. And I was out there with him a couple of years ago. I was just sat at the back, barbecue, beer, this mowing thing going up and down. It takes hours to do the,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
lawn,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But it's like that's a having a barbecue and drinking a beer is a better use of your time than
I wholeheartedly agree.
yes.
Or even playing the guitar.
Yeah.
You know, playing the guitar would be a much better use of the time.
I really like playing guitar.
Yeah. Chris Quinn says Mick looks like he's going to spice up their relationship. Okay. So, we should talk, Chris, I think. Craig Todd is on his eternal Jan Circa quest. You want to get Jan on? I would be interested to talk. I haven't talked to Jan in over 10 years, probably. Anyway, soft bristle paintbrush. Someone said, yeah, I do have a good selection of paintbrushes, actually, for that very function. But what you need is something super soft, because the paintbrush can often just knock the pedals off the wall. Anyway, let's carry on. Hi, Dan and Mick, says Tim Jones. Hello, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
I caught the train wreck bug. It's the only amp I felt at home with. I'm using a profiler now, but any pedals to get that feel through a Marshall Jubilee. So are you saying you like the sound of train wrecks, but you want to get that feel through I don't know anything about train wrecks.
Okay.
The only thing we know is the clone that Joe Halliday at Hello Sailor built for us, which does really sound spectacularly good. What would we say about it, Dan? Harmonically very complex.
Harmonically very complex.
Is the train wreck to EL84s
I think it's
what
4, isn't it?
what the Dumble is to 6L6
Yes,
is?
exactly that. So here we go. Check this out. This is the shipwreck. Isn't that cool? Joe from Hello Sailor. What a legend.
Been on the show once. We should put it on again, maybe.
Yep. But there you go. There's the back of it, so you can see.
Yeah, I would say thick but detailed,
Yeah.
harmonically rich,
Yep.
loud but quiet, soft but hard, clean but dirty. All the good things that good booty cam should be. Yeah, I've never heard a real one.
Volume, treble, bass, and what's C? Cut.
Yeah.
So like the old Foxes, but yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
very, very groovy thing.
He managed to get a couple of the actual transformers, which is what
Oh,
is in here.
it's all about Transformers.
It's all about the transformers.
Well, there we are. yes. So how do we get the train wreck sound through a Marshall Jubilee? Well, one thing I would say about the Jubilee is that it does have that very like the gain is really dense and harmonically rich, but nothing like a sort of modern metal kind of way. It's like a really vintagey, dense, detailed gain sound. And to me there are parallels between what this thing sounds like and the gain in the, if it's a 25, 55 you've got, or if it's one of the bigger ones. So yeah, pedals, I don't know. I mean, there must be pedals out there that emulate.
Yeah, there are. I think, is it an old Wampler? I seem to have a vague memory of an old Wampler pedal doing it.
Well, wasn't there one called the Triple Rec?
The Triple Rec.
That was presumably a rectifier, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. Maybe.
The Vertex have made one, apparently. Yeah, I'm really sorry. Oh, Menatone made one.
Menatone. I've got a few of their pedals out there.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that guy his pedals are so underrated. The Red Snapper, what's it called?
Oh, Hello Sailor makes one.
Right.
Yeah.
What's it called? The King of the Britons. King of the Britons is another Menatone pedal, which is just spectacular.
God, there's so many bloody pedals out there.
Does Joe have a 5-year-old son?
I don't know.
Because it says cabinet made by Joe, aged 5. So cool. The copper. Yeah. Anyway, need to give this thing some more love.
Yeah, good luck, Tim. You might want to do some research. I don't think we can really add very much of value to that, given that we've never really played one. So, yeah, good luck. And presumably it's going on in the chat. Let us know if you agree with our analysis of what we think it sounds like. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Rye Cow has one of a few extremely generous super chats this week.
Oh,
Thank you
mate.
very much.
Wow,
Rye
amazing.
Cow.
Thank you, mate.
He said, I just wanted to thank you for the past 10 years. While watching the first COVID episode when it dropped, my non-guitar wife said, I can't... Do you have a guitar wife as well? You have a non-guitar wife and a guitar wife. Is that how that works? Said, I can't believe how much I'm enjoying this. It's
Wow.
the first slice of normality since the world closed down. Have a dram on me. Thank you, Rye Cow. That's really extremely kind of you, and we absolutely will do that. We reflected on that in the 10th anniversary video, and people often say it to us when they come to experience days. And indeed, just being out in the world talking to people, it does seem that it did chime with a lot of people in that. And it wasn't just us, right? There was lots of people doing community-focused things online. And, yeah, we're glad it was of help, because it was certainly of help to us.
Yeah.
As well.
For sure.
Thank you for your generosity. And to you, Peter Romano. How do you decide if a guitar needs a refret or just a partial crown or level? My favourite guitar has notable feel differences across the neck when comparing to others. Had a professional setup last year. Should I bite the bullet and go full refret? It's basically when the guitar repairer says, yeah, I can't really do this again.
Yeah.
You need a refret.
Yeah. So your guitar repairer will know. They'll be able to say, we can get a crown or whatever, or no, it's beyond it. Because so what they need to be able to do is, if you imagine where the fret is worn down flat, well, they need to be able to take the whole fret and bevel it up to that lowest point. So you need to have enough fret left to be able to, bevel it up to that point, and then all of the frets need to, be worked to that level. So, you know, your luthier will need to have a look at it, and they'll be able to tell you whether or not they can do it.
Yeah, exactly that.
But there's no, I tell you what, man, my SG, it had to have some work done to it. But when Matt did the setup, he did the fret job on it and set it up, the guitar just came to life.
Yeah, we are really remiss with our guitars, both of us. Just not on it. Funnily enough, I came in this morning, I looked at all my guitars, I was like, Joe, I haven't touched any of those guitars in over a week, and it is such a crime. And I thought, you know what? Should just clear out and have 2 or 3 guitars that you play, the ones that you actually play, either put the rest away or sell them, and actually look after those guitars and get so familiar with them and keep them in tip-top condition, playing-wise, I mean. And everything will be better.
Yeah.
They sound better when they're set
definitely.
up. They sound much better.
Yeah.
Matt proved it. You know, you in many cases you get more out of your guitar with a decent setup than you will a new pickup.
Yeah, completely. I couldn't agree more.
And yet we know this, and yet we ignore it.
Yeah.
So
because we like having new things in our guitars.
Yeah.
Because we imagine that new pickup's going to open the world for us. But you know, if you've got a good luthier and you've got a guitar you like that's not quite there, just get them to set it up for you. And now, I thought, because I've been playing guitar a long time and I've, you know, messed around with truss rods and pickup height and actions and stuff, and I thought I knew what I was doing until I met Johnny, and he could just go, oh, okay, and hand the guitar back, and it was like a whole new thing.
Completely different world, isn't it?
If there's someone in your life who really knows guitars, do you know Seth Lee Jones? He's a guy in Oklahoma, amazing guitar player, but he builds guitars like from scratch, and he's a repair genius on guitars, and they'll repair acoustics and stuff like you can hardly see them. And there are these guys around that Bill Poppet was the same, you know. Who just have
Bill Puplet, if you didn't quite get that.
They just have a way with wood, and they just understand.
Well, just the whole thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole coming together of the materials to make an instrument and understanding it
Absolutely.
both as a whole and also in its microcosmic detail.
Yep.
And it's a wonderful thing to behold. A wonderful thing.
This is a wonderful thing to behold.
It is.
Yeah.
I really want to try that bridge on it.
Yeah, me too.
Or I want you to try that bridge on it.
But this needs a photo dress.
The aforementioned Gerhard from St Helens Hardware has sent us a beautifully authentic wraparound tailpiece for that guitar, but that's intonation compensated. And we know that there's other people on the planet who do it, and we know that there's people who are happy with them. We've yet to find one, or Dan has yet to find one, so it'll be interesting in that quest. Not saying they don't exist, we just haven't tried it.
Yeah.
Because this is Compromise City. Sounds unbelievable. Quite hard to play in tune.
Yes.
Good luck, Peter.
Yes, mate.
Talk to someone you trust and take their advice. Tom Dickinson. Hi, Tom. Hi, Legends. I've collected so many guitars over the years, but it's time for a clear out. I've decided that only the guitars I really love should stay. Do you feel the same? Which would you let go?
I was having a think about this last week. And it's probably the right thing to do. But it's hard. Because I was thinking about a couple of guitars that I don't play nearly as much as I should. But yeah, you're good at that.
Okay.
I was like, you're able just to let Blue go to a better place.
Yeah.
That was amazing, I thought.
I think
It's gone to a better place.
I don't know what's if they're cluttering up space and causing you suffering because they're around and they're doing your head in and they're in the way and you have to keep buying things off Amazon to dust them. It shouldn't be that hard of a deal. Similarly, I don't know, we're all at different stages of life. It might be that you want certain people to have guitars after you're gone, in which case that can be quite a good reason to keep them. Or you could just not worry about any of that stuff. And for me anyway, one of the reasons I cleared the shed out, I did the same with my wardrobe, and I do incrementally bits at home. Well, you could say it's a failing of conscious presence, but I get really stressed by being surrounded by clutter and untidiness. It absolutely does my head in. So getting rid of things for me is a very cathartic experience. Having less stuff and clear surfaces and all of that is, I just feel a bit more together when I've got that. So for me, getting rid of stuff's good because it's sort of out of your mental suitcases. What I think is a better option is if you've got 10 things you don't really like, sell 10 and buy one.
Definitely.
That is a strategy everyone could get with.
Yep. I love that. Definitely. You can only play one guitar at a time. And if you've got, half a dozen guitars that are okay, that you get a bit of money for, get rid of them all and buy one guitar that you absolutely love. It's really interesting. I mean, when I bought the SG, I couldn't afford it. Really, really stretched myself to get that guitar. And it's like, I think that's partly the reason I'm sort of obsessed with it, that I actually have that guitar in my custodial vicinity.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of effort bias and proximity bias
completely
to owning all these things. And Jamie Brown, says very, it's a fairly enlightened thing to say. They're just things, they are. But we attach ourselves to things, don't we, mentally and physically, and they become part of who we are. And I think one of the things about becoming more aware, I think it happens partially with age, is that you're able to identify less with things, and that means they're less able to cause you any suffering either by ownership or non-ownership or anything else. And they are just things, but they are fantastic things. Let's not gloss over that.
Ah, look. Yeah. I mean, Yeah. I do. It's that the design of it, just how it feels. There's nothing like them. They're just.
Sean Brooks cuts right to the heart of the matter.
Okay.
Sean, this is what do they call it? A velvet fist question. He says, how would your gear collection be if you only played music and didn't run a YouTube channel or a guitar business? Yeah, man.
Oh,
I wouldn't have. I'd have virtually nothing. I'd have a Strat and a 2-Rock. Maybe my Klon. Stuff that I picked up at the right time at the right price.
Yeah.
But then I would also have like a 50th of the knowledge that I have.
Yeah.
And therefore, and this is interesting. Dan and I often lament, or at least I often lament to Dan, being in sort of mid-late teens where you just didn't know anything and you were totally happy in that ignorance. And everything was sort of unbridled and free. I mean, all right, didn't have a mortgage to pay, didn't have gas bill to pay, didn't have, the world wasn't going to end if you didn't turn up to school or work or college on Monday. And it was a very free time. Having all this stuff and all this knowledge is pretty heavy, actually. And I don't want to suggest it's a bad thing. We're incredibly privileged to be able to have it and to do it. But it can be, at times, quite a heavy thing. And not having all this choice can be very, very liberating. So yeah, I rather suspect Dan and I had quite a bit of gear before.
Well, I remember, would have been
Before this.
10 years ago when I had a clean out and I sold 200 pedals. Stuff that I hated the idea of being a collector.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted every pedal that I had did a specific thing that I hadn't had anything else do. And if the other pedals were just sat there and I owned them because I owned them, then I was just going to get rid of them. But there are some pedals that I do regret selling. I had an old Marshall Super Fuzz, and it didn't sound that great, but I didn't know about it the way I do now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it was such a cool looking thing as well, And someone offered me silly money for it, and yeah.
And then Sean says, does that knowledge make you a better musician? Yes, it does. Or at least it gives you...
It can do.
It might not make you more technically able on the guitar or able to sight read better or able to do any session. In that respect, it won't make you a better musician, but it will help you sound better, and it will help you play and sound appropriately for what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
I think once you've gone through the head mess of actually making a choice, once you've made the choice and you're playing, I think it also enables you to be freer when you're more connected with your tone. If, however, you're sat there playing, thinking about your tone, then that is going to make you a infinitely worse musician on the spot right there. So you do have to have that freedom of getting away from it once you've committed. Do all the thinking about it in this room, and when you wake up at 4 a.m, and then, but when you play, it really stops mattering at that point. And if you can connect with playing, then you'll be a better musician at that point.
Yeah. Todd Roy says, Mick and Dan, Saxon Weiss is in the chat. He does guitar demos for Norman's Rare Guitars alongside Michael Lemo. He's an awesome guitar player. And Saxon says, is that SG a 50 style neck or a 60 style neck? So this is a 61. And it's not as fat as some of the juniors I've played, but it's very comfortable and lovely.
Yeah, it's not as... They tend to get a bit thinner after that, I think. Yeah. I don't know about juniors, but certainly SGs got really flat.
Yeah.
Les Paul SGs seem to get really flat. That's got a really nice curve on it, if that means anything to you, Saxon. It's a fabulous guitar.
It is.
That is a truly spectacular guitar. Right, we better hurry up a bit, maybe.
Pedro says, my mate went on a 7K ski holiday and no eyelids were battered. Spent 2K on a guitar. Call the cops.
Yeah. It's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is an odd thing. Cars is the one that gets me.
Right.
If you buy a newish car, the amount of money you're losing on that. And people say cars are essential. And I'm like, well, that's arguable. They are. You do need to get from A to A to B, but you don't need to get from A to B in an 80 grand, whatever it is. Have you seen how expensive cars are now?
I know.
I mean, do what you want, but, don't beat me up for buying a guitar that I can sell for more in 8 years' time.
Yep.
Right. Peter Romano says, is there anything better than waking up on a Monday and your favourite band sneakily drops a new EP? Apparently Elder just released a proper banger, Dan. Would love to get them on the show one day as they're based in Germany. Elder. Okay, I don't know Elder. I'll listen to them tomorrow.
We'll have a listen.
Yeah. JJ Finn says, love to the Sprocker from my Springer, Poppy. Take one from the chat. Thank you. And hello to Poppy. Big love to Poppy. Rosie is here somewhere. I don't know. She's out there on a sofa, I think. That's from JJ Finn. Morley Robertson. Hey, Morley. Good to hear from you. He says, Legends, great rehash of the Desert Island Challenge. If you could only take one record to listen to, what would it be?
Oh, that's so hard. Because I wouldn't want to take my favourite record because then I get sick of listening to it.
Yeah. Do you find that when you're learning songs for a band? I've got songs that I truly love, and then I've learnt them to play in bands, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, there are songs that I specifically haven't learned to play because I wanted to keep that magic when I.
Yeah.
There are Crowded House songs which if I think about it too much, I'll work out the chords and I'm like, no, just stop,
Yeah.
just be in the moment and listen to that.
Really interesting.
Yeah,
that is super interesting.
Because I do analyze stuff, normally, and it's like no, this So I wouldn't want to take Jeff Buckley or Radiohead or Crowded House or XTC. I would probably take something like Simon and Garfunkel Greatest Hits, or something just with wonderful songs that I could enjoy just as songs.
Yeah.
Or Mozart's Death Requiem in D minor is another.
That one.
That one. That would actually be a contender.
Yeah. I don't think I've listened to that. I listened to Dark Side of the Moon, like back to back, a couple of times over the weekend.
Did you put it on with
I was
Wizard of Oz?
Cooking and stuff? No.
Okay. Apparently, when there's something happens when the flying monkeys or something, you start playing Dark Side at exactly the same time.
Oh right.
And it all lines up.
Oh, amazing. And I quite enjoyed that, actually. I quite enjoyed that. So that would be certainly a contender. It's sacrilege. Not being a massive Pink Floyd fan, I've only really ever listened to the greatest hits. With like a all-time hit, so with some Sid era stuff and all that in there as well. And I really like listening to that. But yeah, listening to Dark Side a couple of times while I was cooking, and I enjoyed that.
Did you watch Rick's interview?
No.
David?
Is it good?
Fantastic.
Yeah, if I can carve out some time, I'll watch it. Is it detailed then?
Yeah. Oh, it's
Can
really
he remember?
wonderful. Yeah, he can. It's
wow.
Yeah.
That's always my worry about the legacy artists, like whether they A, care, or B, can remember.
I remember with Neil Finn, and there's that gold Les Paul special with the mini humbuckers. Deluxe Les Paul Deluxe. And I have been watching him play that guitar since I was a kid. And I'm like, I want to know the story of it and how he found it. And I'm like, and he's there with it, and he's like, and he's playing the guitar. And I said, look, how did you come about this guitar? I've seen it with you. There's a really famous, the last ever Crowded House gig with Paul Hester when they broke up was on the steps of the Opera House in Sydney. And, it starts off and this chord off that guitar and the whole crowd just goes nuts, and it's on all their stuff. And I'm like, tell me the story of that guitar. He's like, I don't remember. I just don't have any memory of how I came about having this guitar. It's like, come on.
There you go. I love that. I do love that.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of weed.
I would take Sun, Monoliths and Dimensions
to
my desert island.
So you get rescued so that the whales would come in and port you off.
That's what I would say. I was telling a friend about Sun at the weekend. He's like, what, really? I was like, yeah, put it on. He's like, really?
Let's dance.
Yeah. Simon V saying, Simon V RDJ is agreeing. Rick's interview with David Gilmour is epic. I've never seen David look so relaxed and happy to chat.
Yeah.
Awesome. I shall watch it.
Yeah, he's a very good interviewer.
He is.
Yeah.
People can tell that he gives a shit about things.
Well, he's been on our show. We've been on his show. And he called us and said, hey, I'm coming over. Can we do something? I'm like, no, get out. I'm just like, but he's here and he's like, I love this stuff. I never get to talk about the gear. And
he's genuinely interested.
And we were both like surprised at that, weren't we? It's like,
yeah.
Because he was so genuine and so lovely and just wanted to talk about the gear.
Just completely into it.
Yeah.
In a way that is always surprising to me when people are that into it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Really lovely.
Awesome. Jan of Delft had a question that is not here, but BV has texted it to me. Thank you, BB. Jan of Delft says, what is your take on the newer DIY pedal kits or semi-kits like the Notter Dumble and the Stu Max stuff? So rather than, presumably what you mean, Jan of Delft, or Jan of Delft, rather than just getting all the bits on a circuit board, part of it's done already. Yeah?
Yeah.
Which is presumably a thing.
Yeah, so the Notter Dumble and the Notterclon thing, that you basically snap the board out. It's all made up. But you snap the board out and then you push the pots on, and it's, it's like a Meccano set, the sort of pre-made. But there are the Stu Mac kits, and there's a bunch of build your own clones, and if you're on Amazon, there's just thousands of them that you can buy for 2p.
Oh, well.
And build these clones of these pedals, and they just send you the circuit board, a diagram, as in a wiring diagram, not necessarily a schematic, just, this component goes in here, a pre-drilled enclosure, and away you go. So
it's like IKEA, basically.
It is.
They take the build labour out of the stuff for you to put it together yourself.
Yeah. Look, it's a wonderful way.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. When I first got started doing what I do, I got some... there was a book, and it was also R.G. Keane.
Yeah.
Suggested some things, and I've still got it. The first thing I ever built was a Phase 45 clone, and you just had a basic breadboard, and then a wiring diagram. But I wanted to understand what each segment was doing. I remember R.G. Keane he was so accommodating and generous with his time, because I really wanted to understand how these phaser sections were moving the signal. And he's someone I'd love to interview. So you don't have to do any of that stuff, though. It's like, here's a clone. I can just put it together and away you go. So yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I might try one. I've never had the patience to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if it takes the labour... by far the biggest cost in any pedal is the labour cost, right? And the finishing cost. So it's not the cost of the components necessarily, it's everything else around it. So I suppose it does enable them, like IKEA with the wardrobe, it does enable them to sell it pretty cheap, and for you to throw screwdrivers around the room at 3 a.m. while drinking WKD Blue.
There you go.
Don't drink that stuff, by the way. Todd Roy says, I wonder what Mick was recording or doing with that Laney behind him. We've used it in a few shows recently, Todd. It belongs to Paul Stacey. It's here because Paul leaves gear wherever he goes, to our benefit. And we've used it in a few shows. We found it pairs really well with the Marshall beside it. It also pairs well with the Filmo sound amp that we were using. Just sits great with other amps, and we really like it. It kind of really gets happening at a sensible volume. It's only 30 watts. And we just really dig it. So that's why.
David Tompkins says, have you seen Spinal Tap 2 yet? No, we haven't.
Not yet.
No. That'll be a day out.
Is it on general release?
Must be.
I have no idea how movie theatres work these days.
You go to the front, say, one please and some popcorn.
Yeah, same as it always was.
Yeah.
I like the ones where you can drink booze.
Oh yeah, and they've got the ones now that it's like a restaurant.
Yeah, there's one in Bath called Tivoli. It's really lovely.
Right.
Really lovely. Yeah, we should go. I just don't go. We were having this conversation. I just don't go out anymore. Going out is something that happened in my earlier life.
Yeah. Or
at least in life earlier as I experienced it.
Yeah. Well, we went and had dinner on Thursday night. It was lovely.
We did. Very quickly.
Very quickly.
And out by 7 o'clock. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Mick was came on the Gig Rig live stream on Thursday.
Chat TGR.
I
think you should rename it.
I think as well.
If you don't mind me saying.
Please.
Because I think a lot of normal humans are really fearful of ChatGPT.
Okay.
And I think they think it's ChatGPT.
Okay. Okay. What should we...
I mean, I could be totally wrong.
What do we call it?
I think you need to nail it on. Like that pedal show was
Riggin'
the
and the giggin'?
stupidest thing we could have ever called this. What is that, like bicycles? Especially when it's not really about pedals anymore either.
I know. Okay, give us your... If anyone out there has any suggestions, we're going to rename ChatTGR. Would love to... Athos13 says Gig Rig Talks. Yeah, that's not bad.
I think something that mentions guitar pedal effects.
That pedal show.
Yeah, but pedal's not ideal, is it?
No.
Because people assume it's cycling. Maybe we did really well out of that. Cycling being much more popular than playing the guitar.
Oh, and they've accidentally subscribed to us. That would explain it.
Maybe that helped.
That would explain it.
Maybe that helped. Dave Oshman. Hello, Dave. Dave Oshman says, hello from Houston. Houston, Texas. He says, well, I assume Houston, Texas. He says, well, there's some words I'm going to fill in. I've had an early inheritance, even though Dad's still alive. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
He says, I've got a Collins 290 and a Joe Bonamassa reissue 59 high power twin.
Hello.
85 watts of pure glory. Why does this and sound feel so much better than any other amp? Even from my Tone King Imperial.
Okay.
Is it the power or is it because it's hand wired?
No. So it's a wonderful amplifier, but here's the thing. If you've got a loud amp that you enjoy, because it's important to note that a lot of people don't like the feeling of that sound pressure level. It's too confronting.
Yeah.
But if you like that, there is nothing in the world like it, because what happens is you vibrate in unison with that sound pressure level, but the guitar reacts differently. The guitar starts to vibrate and you get this beautiful feedback loop. And, which is why we record loud guitars in here, so we get to feel it and actually get a sense of what's going on. And if you enjoy that, man alive, it is having that power that you get to control dynamically. Man, it's why we do what we do. It's the best thing in the world.
It's quite an arresting experience.
Yeah.
I mean, even a Tweed Deluxe is
At that sort of level.
quite an arresting experience. If you think a high power twin is basically, well, 4 of those, give or take. I don't know much about the circuit in the high power twin. I don't know how much negative feedback it has. I don't know if it's fixed bias. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I've got no idea about in the Tweed high power Tweed twin. What is generally true about Fender Tweed amps of that period of the 50s anyway? I know this is a reissue, but I think it's relatively carefully remade. Is exactly what Dan was just talking about, the urgency, the quickness of the delivery. They've put out tons of bass as well, usually. And some of those things are things we would associate with reduced negative feedback, etc. So I don't know what the actual circuit is, but yeah, man, what a great amp.
Incredible.
Also, if you've got it turned up a bit, don't discount the Pine cabinet.
Oh, yes.
It's quite significant what a change of material of cabinet can do once the amp is a little bit louder, because it's all just resonating and being a whole. It's a 212 as well, so you're moving a bit of extra air there. That's always an enriching experience. But yeah, they're just great, aren't they?
Wonderful, really wonderful.
Yeah, especially if you're plugging that Collins into it. That's a serious guitar.
Yeah, we heard him in Bristol with those amps.
Yeah,
the high-powered twins, and wow,
yeah,
really, really fabulous.
Yeah. Well, don't know what to say, Dave. We hope your dad's doing great, and the early inheritance is of use to you at this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Matulovic. Hey, Paul. Good to hear from you, buddy. He says, hey, Legends. Won't be able to watch along today. Just took delivery of a gold foil Novo.
Oh, lovely.
Look at you with your gold foil Novo. From Mr. Broyle. So he's bought it from High Voltage Guitars. Is that what they're called? Yes?
Yes, I think so.
Are you guys going to add a regular Novo to the lineup? Feels like you could use a Miris J.
Is that Novo still here? Is that called? No, we do have an.
Yeah,
we've
got the baritone.
The baritone has been hanging around for a while. It's a magic guitar. Look, when we we're talking before about selling all your guitars and buying one decent guitar, there's an argument to say I could sell all my guitars and buy that Novo that Zach had when he was here. That thing was absolutely stunning. I do think they are easily one of the best modern production guitars out there.
By the end of the first week, you'd be missing the steel fist in the forehead, which is red.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I could never get rid of red, but it's that sort of guitar that I've always heard them sound wonderful.
Yeah, they're great guitars. Really great guitars. I'll echo what Dan said. At this point in time, although I do feel it softening a bit, I'm still just so all about vintage guitars.
Yeah. Wow.
And Novo's interesting because in terms of vibe and feel, I would say they're closer to a true vintage guitar sort of vibe and feel than I felt in a lot of new guitars. But yeah, I'm just still like totally down the rabbit hole of Fenders and Gibsons. And the more I play them, set light to the internet, old wood Gibsons. There's something about them.
Yeah.
And it's depressing.
I know.
Well, it's depressingly uplifting if you've got one in your hands. If you haven't got one in your hands and you can't get one in your hands, it's like, I wish I didn't know that. I wish I hadn't experienced that in a way.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. I'm not going to try to explain it. But yeah, when you play them, it's like, oh yeah, that is something different.
Yeah.
That is something different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still into that in a big way.
Yeah. But I get what you mean. It's like, so Red is from 2002 and has been an absolute workhorse, and I have played that guitar, like literally, it was 5 nights a week for many years, and it's knocking on 2,000 gigs with that guitar. And I love it. It's sort of my body twisted itself around the shape of a Telecaster, around the shape of that guitar. But when I pick up that old SG or the old, the 65, there is something, and I'm sure it's all in my head. Doesn't make it any less real. But I do feel like I'm so honoured to be the steward of this guitar. For as long as I've got it, just the custodian of it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I own it. I feel like it's just with me for a little while.
Oh, I do. Yeah. I know what you mean. I get it.
But I think
like the idea of it, that it's going to be around in many years.
It's because I know that I'm only part of this guitar's journey. Yeah. This guitar's 64 years old.
It's nuts.
It's insane.
But, that pebble on Chesil Beach is 400 million years old. So, I don't know. We just got to get some perspective, haven't we?
This is true.
It's not so serious.
No.
It's not so serious. Except there are 48 gazillion 400 million year old pebbles on Chesil Beach.
Yeah.
That's only one of those. Ricky Engel says apparently they're doing some roasted mahogany Murphy Lab guitars. Very close to the old growth guitars from 59s and 60s. Yeah, I don't disagree. Henning Hesse wants to see us playing vintage and modern guitars blindfolded. Yeah, it would be interesting, but it's just not about that. It's never, honestly, because I absolutely guarantee we would get it wrong somewhere along the line. I absolutely guarantee we would, because it's not about the 2 minutes you spend in a blindfold test with a guitar. It's about the 10 years you spend with it, or the 2 years you spend with it, if that's as long as you've had it, really getting to know it properly. That is when you start to understand and know the differences. And that's not necessarily to say all vintage guitars are better. They're certainly not. But you really only learn what's in between the cracks and the grey areas and all the sort of little tiny things as you live with it. And these sort of huge statements of, can you tell the difference between this and that? Yeah, I guarantee we get it wrong.
Yeah.
In part. And we'd be like, oh, wow, I never knew. And then you spend 2 years with it and you're like, now I know.
Of course.
Now I can hear it. Yeah. Now I know what the difference is. Yeah.
Johnny T says, are you passing guitars down to the kids then, eventually, Dan? I would pass. Give Red to Liv. I'd give this to Zach. And all my other guitars I'd sell to fund having me stuffed and put in the couch in the corner.
Yeah.
As a constant reminder to my wife of our marital vows.
Yeah. If I had kids, I'd definitely give them to someone more deserving. Yeah, and I just to finish that point, I appreciate it sounds a bit airy-fairy and not very scientific and not very whatever, but sound and music and art, and science for that matter, they are multi-dimensional. We know about five senses, or at least we quote five senses frequently. But the fact is, humans perceive things and understand things on such a wildly and fundamentally deeper level that aren't able to be reduced to those five senses. That doesn't happen in an instant. It happens over a lifetime. And you might say it's psychosomatic. You might say all kinds of things. You might say it's motivated cognition. You might say it's all kinds of things. It's deeper than all of that, and it can't be understood by description. So you go with it, and you have a moment of being with your gear and your choices. Yeah. And that's what it is for me. It's not about a blindfold test, which, probably get a load of laughs on YouTube, but I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in doing that.
This is very interesting. Robert Lewis says, one of the biggest issues with new guitar brands is that they aren't the guitars we dreamed about when we were young.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I love that. That's so true.
I totally agree with that. And the reason that I picked up a Strat was because of Stevie Ray Vaughan. The reason I wanted a Les Paul was because of, well, probably Jimmy Page, but also a bit of Clapton. The reason I wanted a 335 was B.B. King, etc., right? So, of course, that is all baked in. And it's baked into the sound as well. So, yeah, I'd never discount that. There's nothing objective about this, people.
That's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. There just isn't. Eagle Ray Rob says, taxidermy Dan. Yeah. Yep. Hope you enjoyed the Gold Foil Novo, Paul. What a cool guitar. Carson Green says, I love cutting sax-like fuzz sound.
Yeah.
Like Joey Landreth in some cases. Is that a more gated fuzz? I find gating chokes quieter notes, but Joey is so dynamic. Can I get that tone with touch sensitivity if I'm not Joey?
You can. You absolutely can. So the key to that is to make sure that you've got enough headroom in the amplifier to amplify the sharp edges of the fuzz. If your amp is compressing, then that limiting nature can just take the edges off a bit. So, and also depends on the fuzz as well.
Yeah. There are certain ones where you can really fine tune the onset of the gate.
Yeah.
which is usually interactive with the other controls on the pedal, depending on where the gate sets in. And then really it's your job to figure out what the lowest you can play is and what the highest, well, there is no highest, but as soft as you want to pick, you need to make sure that the onset of the gate is obviously just not too harsh that you lose your quieter notes. So yeah, it's an interesting one, gated fuzz, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of really good gated fuzz examples. It doesn't have to be the fuzz doing the gating either. You can just use a lot of palm muting and use your own playing inflections to get that sort of stabby sound. I would also say it's something that I would associate less with fuzz face types and less with muff types and more with various tone benders and zonks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
In a fuzz face, it's kind of too fluffy. You can get really gatey ones, but it's fluffy, I think, in a fuzz face. Whereas in something that's derived of the tone bender world, like a zonk, or
that's what I was going to say, that sort of thing.
I think you're more likely to find what you like tone bender derived than fuzz face derived. Not least because most of them tend to be 3 transistor. So there's more fuzz in the first place. Hope that helps. Fuzzy Pedals. Fuzzy Pedals says, I finally got my first valve amp.
Nice.
A green back-loaded Vox AC15C1. Fuzz and filtertrons and cranked power valves have been a source of joy in these ridiculous times. Also, my Knobs long sleeve is my favourite new shirt. Cheers.
Awesome, mate.
They're really nice, the long sleeve.
They're
tees,
lovely.
actually.
They're lovely. And now it's getting a little bit chillier. I'm wearing it more and more.
Yes, I wore mine most of yesterday, even cleaning out the shed and vacuuming it. Available from that Pedal Show store, obviously, long sleeve t-shirts. Yeah, nice one. You will notice, obviously to be the voice of doom as usual, the AC15 is the only amp we have where we do have to replace the power tubes every now and again.
Yeah.
Because they do seem to eat through them if you crank it a lot.
Yeah.
Which is good, they're in plentiful supply. And the new AC15C1s take the Chinese EL84s no trouble, so happy days. Happy days. Hi DNM, it was a fun challenge. Is the Line 6 DL4 Mark II $500 yet? Sounded great, didn't it?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Really, really good.
Yeah, the reverb's in it and everything.
Yeah.
There are people.
Oh, hello, Rosie.
Who prefer the looper in the original.
Yeah. You want to go and see Dan instead? Okay.
Come on.
Go and see Dan instead.
No.
Or are you coming up here? You make a choice, Rose. Where are you going? You coming up here or are you going to see Dan? Go on. Go where you want to go. I know, I'm boring, aren't I? I'm just the boring one.
No, but you're Dad.
I know, but I'm the boring person. There you go.
Then.
Go and see Dan.
Come on then. Come on.
Go and see Dan.
Come on. Come for cuddle.
Are you going to come and see me? Or you're probably saying you need a wee-wee, are you? Is that what you're doing? Come on, come and say hello to the people. Come up here, Rosie. I'm going to trick you and say, what have I got for you? What have I got for you? Come on. No, needs a wee, I think. I think you need a wee. Okay, we've just got a couple questions to answer, Rosie. In fact, we've got one question to answer,
okay,
and then you can have a wee-wee. Zarid. I think it's Zarid, spelt with an X, is last in this week. I'll just check that he is, or that they are. No question, just happy I'm able to watch a live Q&A. Please take one from the comments. Okay, I'll just check that you are last in, Zarid. You are, so we will take one from the comments to finish off tonight. Let's all we're looking for is a question mark. We're looking for a question mark. I know, Rose. I know. Lots of people having lovely chats. No real questions. Come on. Okay, in which case I can't see a question. Craig Todd. A nice light-hearted last question. He says, when is old wood old wood? It's a really good question.
Yeah. When was it old wood?
Yeah, well, I suppose it was old wood when Gibson used it
Yeah. Okay.
in the 50s
Well, it was already old.
because it was old growth
Okay. Yes.
mahogany and rosewood. So I think it was already old. I don't know how old. And then, of course, by no means the main cause of, but a minor contributor to the deforestation that is the problem. Quite often said it would be, if it was only used in guitar making, all that lovely mahogany and rosewood, there'd still be loads of it left.
Yeah.
But it would be vastly more expensive to extract. So, yeah. Anyway, Dan's going to play you out. On Friday, the video is pedals we couldn't live without.
And then promptly did.
So some old favourites that we just were super fizzy about and then stopped using for whatever reason. And it's a trip down memory lane in a way. The usual pedal show shenanigan. Play us out, Daniel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your generosity with the super chats. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you on Friday. And we'll see a bunch of you on Friday for an experience day, which I'm really looking forward to. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
Yeah. I can get the 8 rock out. See ya. You go see the people. You've got to see the people before we get Rosie. Come and see the people. Help me. Right, bit of Rosie for those of you who like Rosie. All right. That's it. Good girl. Look over there. Yeah. Rosie, what do you think of Dan's guitar playing?
Rough.
Oh, my doggy. Come on, let's go for a wee wee.